It's the Date Master, and we're back. Oh, we're back. Shout out to people who've been subscribing, coming on the videos. I appreciate it. They deleted my last video, and I kind of knew they were gonna do it because it did have a little bit of nudity and some explicit scenery. But I repost that later with just the audio. But I want to point out a very interesting thing, and shout out to Fresh and Fit podcast. If you guys are following them, you see their platform. It's very unique and dynamic, and it is thorough. And what I noticed, along with other TikTok and these compilations, it is very important to have these conversations because you get the information from the source itself. You get it from the horse's mouth. And what you notice when you ask a woman what does she want in a man, when she lists her standards, this is something that I notice. Always pay attention to what she lists first. Whatever comes out her mouth first is typically an indicator of her intention with you, or what they mainly focus on. See, what women have learned how to do is say the same thing in two different ways. So whatever she lists first and whatever she focuses on, that is the main objective. I'm gonna give you some information that's gonna categorize what she's looking to do with you, or why she wants you. So they always list a man with money. They're big on salary. And when you listen to these standards, these modern women, it could be in just this demographic location. They're looking for guys talking about 200,000 minimum. Some of them are saying 500K. There are artists that don't make 500K. There are athletes that don't make, professional athletes that do not make upwards to 500K a year. But you get to hear what this new wave and this new batch of women are looking for. They're not looking to build or looking to, support or, give you. They're not looking to help you build anything. They want ready-made situations. So when you listen to the standards, it's all about financials, salary, and then they want to be treated like a princess. They want a slave, a rich slave, no pun intended. But when you're having these conversations, pay attention to the first thing that comes out of their mouths. What this tells you is that this is the number one priority, numero uno. Because what you will notice when you start to ask what these type of men are looking for, when they provide what they have to offer, it doesn't match. So some of these women know, men want a feminine, submissive, friendly, supportive, available, kind mother that's gonna, be able to replicate his seed and his legacy, who's gonna be able to follow instructions, be compliant, be loyal. They don't lead off with that as their attributes. They always lead off with their money, talking about how much money they make. But yet, in the conversation, you never hear them really give vivid details on how they make their money. All of a sudden, every woman that comes on these platforms are making six figures. I don't believe it. And if they are making six figures, they're not giving honest answers as to why I do a little bit of everything. What do you do to generate income? I do this, I do that, okay. Ambiguous, very vague conversation. But her standards, and then when it all boils down, they know these standards. I have a theory. I believe when you hear these women with these outrageous expectations and standards, it's my belief that these women conjure up these standards and they say them on public platforms and on social media, etc., to ward off guys who actually meet some of the standards or a lot of the standards, but not all. So they make them unrealistic because deep down they know they can't even match a man who even meet those expectations. They know they don't have value. Some of these women that are saying these things have children, multiple baby daddies, OnlyFans, stripping, etc., etc. So it's my theory that deep down it's like a reverse psychology, a reverse insecurity, that these women give you these standards because they know no one that they will ever meet will meet these expectations, because they don't even meet the expectations to get such a man, to get a man of such value. If they had realistic expectations, they'll follow up by saying, I interact with these guys all the time, and not just from a sexual or a cook standpoint or a sugar baby standpoint. They will have these interactions with the business that they run, if it's legit. If they're the entrepreneurs that doesn't involve selling their body, selling sexuality, if they're doing something with their hands, their craft, creativity, etc., the clientele would make sense. So these standards wouldn't sound so absurd when you listen to how they say them. But it's my theory that these women speak these standards because they know deep down they will never meet a guy who match, or who meets, or they know they don't adhere, or these are not they don't meet the standards of the guys that meet their expectations. So always pay attention to what is said first, the first thing that comes out of her mouth. Also, when you notice as they progress and get older, the tone starts to change. All you have to do, we as men have to be more patient. Be very patient, but execute and be thorough and concise. When you pay attention, and a lot of the times, these women sing this tune for a very short time, and then they start to change it up a little bit. At one point, this woman had all of these guys. I got multiple boyfriends, all this misandry. Well, not misandry, not to hate of men, but this polyamorous to where she's the dominant. They have all these options, but Father Time comes in as a reality check, and stuff starts sagging. We start seeing the age. And as they get older, their options decrease. A lot of women tend to think as she gets older, her options tend to increase because she's put herself in a financial position that men don't give a damn about. So she's telling herself men want me for my money, or men want a woman with money, when that's not the case. If we built companies and projects that we built, benefited from financially, that's one thing. But we don't care about you having a lot of money, because you're not going to spend it on us anyway. You may pay for a date here and there, a few gifts, okay. But when you pay attention to these women, as they get older, the wall comes crashing down. They start to kind of show that they don't live by the same rules that they were once speaking about. They start posting the hand or the arm of the guy that they're dealing with. They never show the full face. They never give a full profile. They just give hints and teasers to show that, hey, I got somebody, when the man probably ain't worth shit. That's why they don't put his full profile out, because if he was about something, he would be plastered all over her social media. She would let the world know first, last, middle, birth date, if he was that guy. If he was that guy, we'll know. So they start singing a different tune because reality is setting in, and her standards become wishes and then become lost hope, because she's now 35 plus with 2 kids by 2 different men. She's now 30 plus, 45 pounds heavier than she was at 25, 60 pounds heavier than she was at 28. She's cut all her hair off. She has a taper fade. They start to tell themselves, it's like watching snow melt. You see it, it's there, then the next day, okay, it's melting, and then it slowly melts away. Who they start to settle, and you look at the guy who they settle with, he is nothing like the standards and expectation she had plastered on her social media and Snapchat and Instagram 4 or 5 years ago. Reality bites, and people want something for nothing. They don't want to work. They're just entitled. So her standards ultimately will just become wishful thinking, and then after a while, it'll be lost hope. A lot of women are in for a rude awakening. And fellas, like I said, be patient, build yourself, invest in yourself. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your money dating unless you're in 100% control of the situation, or if you have built and you had a loyal one stick by you and you know you confirmed, because it's all in the effort and the presence. You'll know if she's for you. If you have the eye of the tiger, you have the sense, you know nature, you know what compliance looks like, you know what loyalty looks like. You will be very successful in picking a woman to give that energy or that position to. You'll be very successful. But this is something you guys need to take a look at. Always pay attention to the minute details, body language, mannerisms, eye contact. They cannot lie. They're terrible liars. They think they're better liars because they deal with men who they dominate or hypnotize sexually. And that guy just loses his sense, and he's easily fooled. But yet he plays the fool because if he was to wake up or let her know, then she would, take away the goodies from him. But yes, the Date Master, man. Appreciate y'all feedback, the engagement. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Holla back at your boy.